Yeah, a lot of walkthroughs, a lot of meetings you got to be really tuned into. And then, I think just you look at all the work from beginning of OTAs and rookie minicamp to now, I think that's all installation that you can really pride yourself on and the reps built up. So I'm focused on doing. It's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing.
Dillon Gabriel has officially earned his spot as the starting quarterback. And once again, he's making headlines by taking shots at Shedeur Sanders. In a recent interview, Gabriel made it clear that his journey to the starting role wasn't about controversy or drama. He emphasized that while he focused on the work, from OTAs all the way through training camp, others were distracted by unnecessary attention. According to Dillon, his success was built on grinding through the tough moments, while others were more concerned with off-field noise.
Been through weeks of prep and a bunch of them, if you go back, but you just continue to attack it with your process and how you want to accomplish that. But I think it's us coming together, like I said, not to be cliche or keep saying the same thing, but
Dillon Gabriel didn't stop there. He went on to talk about his approach and mindset, explaining that what sets him apart from others is his unwavering focus and mentality. He stressed that there's no need to fall back on the usual cliches, subtly taking a jab at Shedeur Sanders. Even in his criticism, Gabriel made it clear that the focus should never solely be on individual success. Instead, he pointed out that true greatness comes from prioritizing the team's collective goals, a message that indirectly targeted Shedeur once again. Let's be honest, no one's really going to criticize Dillon Gabriel for his remarks because he's not Shedeur Sanders. If Shedeur had said something similar, it would have been a whole different story. The media and fans would have torn him apart, and it would have sparked a complete uproar. Dillon, on the other hand, is flying under the radar with his comments, and it's not causing much of a stir. It's clear that any similar statements from Shedeur would have been met with much harsher scrutiny, proving just how different the reactions would be depending on who's speaking. This isn't the first time Dillon Gabriel has taken aim at Shedeur Sanders. During the preseason, Dillon openly criticized Shedeur, even calling him an entertainer rather than a true athlete. Despite this, the media didn't come down on Dillon the way they did with Shedeur. Dillon's trash talk was very public, yet there was almost no backlash. No one questioned his motives or made it a big deal. It's a stark contrast to the intense scrutiny Shedeur faced. So, why the double standard? Let's take a closer look at what Dillon actually said.
I'm focused on doing. It's just part of it. There's entertainers and there's competitors. And I totally understand that. And my job is to compete. And that's what I'm focused on doing.
Once again, Dillon Gabriel made his remarks, and no one seemed to really notice or call him out on what he was implying. But had Shedeur Sanders said something similar, it would have sparked a full-blown controversy. The backlash against Shedeur would have been intense, with everyone coming after him and making it a huge story. It's clear that the reactions would be completely different depending on who's speaking, highlighting the stark double standard at play. And it's not just talk. Recently, Shedeur Sanders made a bold statement, claiming that he believes he's better than some current NFL quarterbacks. Unsurprisingly, that didn't sit well with many people. The backlash was immediate, with critics voicing their disapproval and calling out his audacity for making such a claim. However, Shedeur wasn't just boasting about himself. He's expressed that, while he's worked hard and remained patient, there's also a sense of frustration building up. He feels he's earned the opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the league, but is still being overlooked.
I enjoy my moments, but overall, this isn't my end goal. I'm just enjoying myself, learning, doing everything I have to do, and just ready for my opportunity.
Then came Rex Ryan, who didn't hold back in his criticism of Shedeur Sanders. Rex put himself front and center by going after Shedeur directly. In a recent interview, he made several bold claims, suggesting that Shedeur wasn't putting in enough work to be considered for a starting quarterback role. What really stood out was the tone Rex used. It wasn't constructive or friendly, but rather sharp and almost confrontational, clearly meant to provoke. This wasn't just a simple critique. It felt more like a direct attack, which only fueled the growing controversy surrounding Shedeur.
Something's missing with this kid. This kid talks, he runs his mouth like I could be a starting quarterback with his arms crossed like this. Get your ass in the front row and study and do all that. If I know, the whole league knows.
As the situation becomes clearer, analysts are now questioning the media's double standards. Cam Newton also weighed in, stating that Shedeur is being treated unfairly and that his concerns are justified. Newton pointed out that what's happening with Shedeur is unprecedented. He's the first fifth-round, third-string quarterback in NFL history to receive this level of fan support, which, according to Newton, is exactly why he's facing so much scrutiny. Newton believes NFL owners and the league are uncomfortable with the widespread fan support for Shedeur and are trying to suppress the momentum building around him. Cam Newton went on to say that whenever Shedeur Sanders does anything, no matter how right or justified it may be, there's always a level of critique that feels over the top. He points out that the criticism goes all out, targeting Shedeur in ways that nobody really expects or would normally see. Even when Shedeur does things that seem like a step in the right direction, the attacks come at him harder than they would for any other player. And Newton is calling it for what it is. There's an agenda being pushed against him.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique. What I don't like is you may not be able to relate to what he's doing or how he's doing it, but you can't control and make it be what you want it to be, because it's not that. It's not even about, before we get to the point, we have to understand what the reality is.
Yeah.
When Shedeur does anything, it's always critique.
The situation surrounding Shedeur Sanders and the reactions to his statements highlight the deep double standards that exist in the world of sports. Dillon Gabriel's remarks, which similarly criticized Shedeur, went largely unnoticed and without much backlash, while Shedeur's bold comments sparked immediate and intense criticism. This disparity in response points to a much larger issue of how different players, particularly those with high media attention, are treated. Shedeur's frustrations, while expressed in a bold manner, are rooted in a sense of being overlooked despite his accomplishments. His rise to prominence has been accompanied by unprecedented fan support, but instead of being celebrated for it, he's often targeted and scrutinized by both the media and critics. Cam Newton's observations add another layer to this narrative, suggesting that the league may be uncomfortable with the momentum Shedeur is building and is actively working to suppress it. Whether it's Dillon Gabriel's subtle jabs or Rex Ryan's more direct attack, the way Shedeur is being handled by the media and the NFL raises important questions about fairness, bias, and the way talent is recognized and nurtured. Ultimately, it's clear that Shedeur Sanders' journey is far from ordinary, and the scrutiny he faces reflects the challenges that come with standing out in a high-profile world. What do you think about the way Shedeur Sanders is being treated compared to other players like Dillon Gabriel? Do you believe there's a double standard in how the media and fans react to their comments? Is Shedeur's confidence and frustration justified, or is it crossing a line? How do you feel about the intense scrutiny he's facing, especially given the unprecedented fan support he's receiving? Do you think the NFL is trying to suppress his momentum, as Cam Newton suggests? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation. Do you agree with the criticism, or do you think Shedeur is being unfairly targeted? Let us know what you think in the comments.